I'm from Germany. I was new to Australia. It was my first year where I had to do a tax return.
2023 was a big year for Michaela Husel. She moved to a new country and became a mum.
I had a newborn and she was around 10 weeks old at the time. So I didn't sleep a lot.
Early one morning, Michaela received a text message reminding her to lodge a tax return.
I just clicked a text and then I was forwarded to my government login page. It said you need to put in your name, your date of birth, your address.
Then an unusual red alert flashed across the screen.
And that's when I thought, like, oh no, this was a false website, and I just fell for it.
Michaela quickly changed her password and reported the scam attempt to MyGov, but never got a response. 7 days later, she received a letter from the tax office.
Yeah, so this is the letter I was sent from the ATO so you see the date is the 6th of October, so it was quite rapidly afterwards.
So 7 days after you received the text, you get a refund for 16,000.
Yeah.
Michaela was never entitled to a refund and never saw the money. Scammers had opened a bank account in her name and stolen those funds from the ATO.
You can change in a single day in your ATO account your bank details, your email, your phone, send off a tax return and get paid 6 days later.
$16,000.
Yeah. I definitely thought, oh, I'm probably not the only one.
Michaela Husel is one of more than 15,000 victims of online tax fraud in Australia over the past couple of years. In that time, the ATO lost a staggering $500 million. Now 730 can reveal the identity of one of the key facilitators of these scams. We take you inside one of the world's largest phishing operations.
It's a multi-billion-dollar business across the globe. They are getting better and more successful. You could use it for cracking passwords, hacking passwords.
For the past 15 years, Gabor Sosmari has worked to protect businesses from cyber attacks. When he received a phishing email in 2020, he was surprised by how authentic it looked.
Apparently it came from an accountant in Sydney. It looked legitimate, it had perfect language, it was perfectly written. I recognized it was a scam. So instead of signing in with my actual credentials, I decided to dig into it. But the interesting thing is, Hagar, that if you look into the source code of this website...
The email he'd received was linked to a global phishing network where stolen credentials and fake web pages are bought and sold.
I managed to find out that hundreds of other fake login pages were using the same server for collecting the usernames, the stolen usernames and passwords. I was going down the rabbit hole and I eventually found out who owns this server. So what we can see on the screen is one of the sign-in pages.
What he found was a one-stop shop for identity theft called Bulletproof Link. For up to $100, you could buy fake MyGov, Dropbox or Microsoft login pages, all designed to fool unsuspecting people into giving up their personal details.
Bulletproof Link was selling phishing templates for MyGov and potentially hosting MyGov login pages, fake login pages as well. So as you can see on this screenshot,
the man behind this operation has given thousands of scammers the tools to defraud people all over the world. He even offered phishing tutorials for beginners.
That scammer was demonstrating how the phishing template can be installed, how it can be hosted, and how it works.
That's when Gabor had a breakthrough. In one of these tutorials, a key figure inadvertently revealed their identity.
This person had a very public life on social media. This person lives in Malaysia. What you can see that he has a successful life. He purchased several cars in the past few years, a motorbike. Probably what his friends and family don't know is the dark truth, where the actual money is coming from.
How did you feel about unmasking this scammer?
It was a relief because finally I could put a name and face on a scammer, and I was hoping that finally this person could be brought to justice. So perhaps I can show.
Gabor Sotmari shared everything he found with Malaysian Police and the FBI in October 2020. Around the same time, scammers struck an Australian government agency.
The initial brief was fairly straightforward in terms of, we've experienced a phishing attack.
Perth-based investigator Bex Nitert had spent years tracking cyber criminals on behalf of government and private clients. She gets called in to investigate when cyber criminals infiltrate an organisation.
In my case, you're coming in when something has gone wrong.
Bex Nitert won't name her government client, but was engaged to find those responsible.
They wanted to know, have we identified all of the compromised accounts? Have they stolen financial information? What were the consequences? They wanted to know, well, why did they do this? What were their motivations? Who's behind this?
Within days, she identified a suspect. It was the same Malaysian businessman.
Getting to the stage where you can identify the person behind the attack is quite hard and rare. One of the things that I came across was a photograph of driver's license to connect him to that malicious activity.
Based in Sabah on the island of Borneo, Adrian Katong looks like a devoted family man.
Bulletproof Link website was an e-commerce website, just like any other business might be selling online goods, except his online goods were illegal.
On the dark web?
No, on the clear web. You could find it on Google. So, not hidden at all.
In just a couple of years, Adrian Katong had expanded his operation, offering cyber criminals a range of phishing products and services.
His activity started ramping up in 2020. He was increasing his prices, started offering services like conducting phishing attacks on behalf of other people, so they didn't need to put in the work. He catered to a broad range of criminals.
How much money is he making out of all of this?
Based on his own claims, $1 million in one financial year.
This is where Adrian Katong built his phishing empire. By 2021, he had about 8,000 clients.
If each of those actors had one phishing site that generated a few thousand victims over a month, if you do the math on that.
Now a cyber investigator, Frank Brutaniti, was working with the AFP's cybercrime unit when he received Bex Nitert's files on the phishing network.
Not every investigation starts with having a comprehensive dossier on how large an operation is, who's behind it, what country they live in, and a picture of their house. Bex had done a really good job of pulling all the pieces together.
The AFP shared their information with the Malaysian Police. In November last year, Adrian Katong was arrested. The AFP put out this press release.
There was a lot of evidence that pointed towards Katong. From what I saw, it looked pretty damning. But again, it's not always what we know, it's sometimes what we can prove.
8 months after his arrest, Adrian Katong has still not been charged. Bex Nitert says he's rebuilding his business.
Throughout his arrest, the posts continued on his Telegram page advertising the services. So yeah, the phishing activity definitely continues. For him to have been doing this without consequences and in the open, is pretty incredible.
Bex Nitert is watching closely to see what happens next.
I've got a pile more information that I can share, but I'd really like to see justice for the victims.
The AFP declined to respond to our detailed questions, saying it continues to work with foreign partners on this case. The Malaysian Police told the ABC it is still gathering intel for more analysis, confirming no charges have been laid against Adrian Katong. Adrian Katong did not respond to our messages.
There's just a small split second of where you're not thinking correctly. You click and that's it.